Welcome back. When most people think of financial planning, they often picture one piece of the puzzle: investments. Maybe it's a 401k, an IRA, or a portfolio of stocks and bonds. But here's the truth: investments are only one part of the bigger picture. If you focus on just that single piece, you can end up missing the interconnections that matter the most: taxes, income planning, insurance, estate planning, and retirement goals, or how they all interact together. And if they're not coordinated, even a strong portfolio can fall short. Think of financial planning like a jigsaw puzzle. Each of the various elements of your financial life, like investments and taxes, are a puzzle piece. And each piece is individually important, but in order to see the big picture, they all need to interconnect perfectly together and work as a team. That's why comprehensive financial planning matters. It's about putting all the puzzle pieces together in a way that works for your life, not just your investments. Hi, I'm Brandon Persia. I'm partner and financial advisor at Starboard Wealth Advisors. I take the time to help high net worth retirees and pre-retirees create tax-efficient income strategies, preserve their wealth, and retire with clarity and confidence. If you're looking for a plan that works as hard as you did to build your wealth, click the link in the description below to schedule a complimentary consultation. We'll walk you through your various financial puzzle pieces to help determine how they might fit together more effectively. So in this video, I'll walk you through what true comprehensive financial planning looks like, why it matters, and the key areas you need to align. Part 1. Income planning. At the center of any financial plan is income. Once you retire, the paycheck stops, but the bills don't. That's why income planning is really the foundation of everything else. The question becomes, how do you reliably turn a lifetime of savings into a steady paycheck you can count on? So for most retirees, income comes from several sources: Social Security, pensions, withdrawals from retirement accounts, and possibly investment dividends or rental income. On their own, each source has its own rules and tax treatment. But when put all of them all together, that is where planning makes the difference. So let's take a couple. We'll call them Jim and Mary. They retire at 65 with about $2 million in savings. The bulk of their money is in traditional IRAs, some in a taxable brokerage account, and a smaller amount in a Roth IRA. Jim is eligible for a pension, and they're both eligible for Social Security benefits. Without a plan, they might just start claiming Social Security right away, pull money out of the IRAs whenever they need it, and hope the rest takes care of itself. But here's the problem. By claiming Social Security early, they not only lock in lower benefits for life, but also have to ensure they do not exceed the SSA annual income cap. By pulling entirely from their IRAs, they also push themselves into a higher tax bracket, which means more of their Social Security eventually becomes taxable. And by not coordinating their withdrawals, they risk running into the Medicare Income-Related Monthly Adjustment Amount, or IRMA, premium surcharges, especially once the IRS required minimum distributions, or RMDs, begin. Now we can compare that with a structured income plan, where instead of claiming Social Security at 65, Jim and Mary delay until 70, when the benefit has grown about 8% per year. That gives them a much larger guaranteed lifetime income base. To bridge the gap from 65 to 70, they take controlled withdrawals from their taxable account and a small amount from the IRA. By strategically doing it this way, they keep the taxable income relatively low, smooth out their withdrawals, and allow their IRA to continue growing. When RMDs begin at age 73, the withdrawals are more manageable because they've already reduced the account balance through planned distributions. Or consider a single retiree named Susan. Susan does not have a pension, but she does have a sizable 401k and a Roth IRA. If she simply lets her 401k sit untouched until RMDs begin, she may face a sudden jump in taxable income at age 73. With an income plan, she can begin small Roth conversions in her 60s, shifting some of that balance into tax-free territory. And then when RMDs arrive, they're smaller, and Susan now has the flexibility to draw from her Roth for tax-free income if she needs it. The key is that income planning is not just about covering today's expenses. It's about sequencing withdrawals in a way that manages taxes, helps protect Social Security benefits, and stretches savings across an entire retirement. The order in which you draw from accounts can dramatically change your tax outcome. Pulling from a taxable brokerage account first may allow tax-deferred accounts to keep growing, especially during market downturns. And tapping a Roth IRA later in life can preserve a tax-free inheritance for children. Every decision has ripple effects. That's why income planning sits at the heart of comprehensive financial planning. If you don't have a strategy for generating reliable income, even the best portfolio can fall short. But when you do, every other part of the plan, taxes, investments, risk management, and estate planning, fit together more smoothly. Part 2, tax planning. Taxes are one of the largest expenses in retirement, yet they're often overlooked. Every withdrawal has a tax consequence. Take too much from a traditional IRA, and you may push yourself into a higher bracket. Sell stocks arbitrarily, and you may generate unwanted capital gains. Withdrawal without planning, you could even increase the taxation of Social Security or trigger higher Medicare premiums. So let's look at an example with a retiree named Mark, who needs $100,000 per year to live comfortably. If he takes it all out from his traditional IRA, that full amount is taxed as ordinary income. and that might bump him into a higher tax bracket. And it may also push more of his Social Security into the taxable range. But if Mark instead takes $50,000 from his IRA, $30,000 from his taxable brokerage account, and $20,000 from a Roth, his reported taxable income is much lower. That can reduce his tax bill and avoid Medicare surcharges. Tax planning is not about avoiding taxes completely, but sometimes taxes can be minimized, deferred, or offset with proper planning. It's about managing when and how you pay them. Roth conversions in low-income years, harvesting capital gains in taxable accounts, or staggering withdrawals are all examples of proactive planning. The bottom line is this: without a tax plan, taxes become the silent partner in your retirement. Or with a plan, you can control taxes and keep more of your money rather than letting taxes control you and giving more of your money to the IRS. Part 3. Investment strategy. Investments are important, but they need to serve your plan and not the other way around. That means balancing growth with stability and making sure your assets match your time horizon and help protect against risks like inflation or market downturns. Consider two retirees. One keeps 90% of their portfolio in stocks because they fear missing out on growth. The other puts 80% in cash because they fear losing money. Both are exposed to risk, so the first may face large losses early in retirement, which could permanently damage their income plan. The second may see their purchasing power erode as inflation eats away at cash. A more balanced approach is the bucket strategy. One bucket holds conservative investments for the next few years of income. A second bucket is invested more moderately, designed for midterm growth. And a third bucket holds equities for long-term growth. That way, they aren't forced to sell stocks in a down market to cover expenses, but they each can still capture growth for the years ahead. The key is aligning investments with your cash flow needs and tolerance for risk, not chasing returns for their own sake. That moves us to part 4, risk management and insurance. A comprehensive plan also includes protection against risks that can derail financial security. That means planning for healthcare costs, long-term care, and liability issues. Let's take someone named Robert, for example. He's 78 and suffered a stroke. Without long-term care insurance or a reserve for healthcare, his family begins withdrawing heavily from his savings to cover care. Within a few years, hundreds of thousands of dollars are gone forever. Long-term care insurance, hybrid life policies, or even earmarking a portion of savings as a cash reserve can protect against this outcome. The goal isn't to buy every insurance policy available. It's to identify the risks that could cause you the most damage and create a plan to cover them. Risk management also includes annually reviewing your home and car insurance coverage, limits and deductibles, and considering an umbrella liability policy to cover claims that exceed those limits. Reviewing your health insurance coverage options, making sure your state documents are in order, and even requesting a free copy of your credit reports from Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion, given the amount of data breaches that we've had in recent history, and to help prevent against identity theft these days. A single unforeseen event shouldn't erase decades of careful planning. Part 5. Estate and legacy planning. The final puzzle piece of a comprehensive financial plan is estate and legacy planning. We often say your estate plan is your final act of love for your family. This helps ensure your wealth transfers efficiently, with as little loss to taxes and probate or stress on your family members as possible. So consider a couple with $3 million in assets. Without proper planning or account titling, much of that estate could pass through court probate, creating delays, costs, and public record exposure, not to mention stress on your family. Now imagine the same couple has a revocable living trust, updated beneficiary designations, and clear charitable intentions. Their wealth passes smoothly to heirs privately and efficiently. Estate planning is not just about money, it's about clarity. Having powers of attorney, health directives, and clear instructions ensure your family is protected and your wishes are carried out. Without these documents, even well-meaning families can run into conflict. Part 6, we're going to bring this all together. Each of these puzzle piece areas, income, taxes, investments, risk management, and estate planning work together, like gears in a machine. If one piece is misaligned, the system slows down. But when they fit together, you have a plan that not only grows your wealth, but helps preserve it and puts it to work for your goals. Consider how this works in practice with a retiree named Linda. Linda has a strong portfolio, but she withdraws randomly from her IRA, which increases taxes needlessly. She hasn't updated her estate documents in a decade, and her various beneficiary designations are out of date. Linda also has no plan for long-term care. All of her puzzle pieces are there, but they're not coordinated to fit together smoothly. Now imagine Linda, who put a comprehensive financial plan in place after meeting with her advisor. Her withdrawals are now tax efficient. Her investments are aligned with income needs. Her risk exposures are covered, and her estate plan ensures her wealth passes smoothly to her children. That's the difference coordination makes. Comprehensive financial planning is not about chasing returns or finding the perfect stock. It's about coordination. It's about taking the time to identify all the moving parts or financial puzzle pieces of your financial life and designing a plan for them to work together in a way that supports your family's goals. So if you'd like to see how this could work for you, then let's talk. You can click the link in the description below to book a complimentary consultation. Take the time needed to help walk through how to put your financial puzzle pieces together into a beautiful picture. Remember, Starboard Wealth Advisors, your financial destination is why we're here. So thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, make sure to watch our other videos for more clear, no fluff retirement guidance, or contact us for a simple phone or Zoom call. Thanks so much for watching today.